Hey everybody, welcome to another Solarpunk Farmer vlog, and today we are going to be talking about and building some earthworks. But Mr. Solarpunk Farmer, what are earthworks? Earthworks are structures that you build in the ground to catch and store water. With earthworks, you can effectively increase the amount of rainfall that a certain area of soil receives by several times. So right now I am sitting inside of a boomerang berm. This is a boomerang shaped structure that you dig in the soil to capture and store water and to reduce erosion on steep slopes. The slope that I am sitting on right now is about 30 degrees, maybe even 40 degrees in some spots. And this is way too steep to construct more traditional earthworks like swales, which are typically limited to slopes of 15 degrees or less. So this is a fantastic method to increase soil moisture and therefore facilitate reforestation on very steep slopes. So in each one of these berms, we will have a plant guild that is based around a single tree species. In this case, we have moringa. In some of the other berms, I will be planting some other pioneer tree species, especially ones that fix nitrogen and produce large amounts of biomass. And as we continue to build berms up this slope and plant trees, that will get the whole process of ecological succession started, and hopefully eventually we will have a food forest system up here. In addition, in these two berms that you see right here, they are not complete. We still have to mulch fully and sow cover crops. The cover crops will help to begin enriching the soil and simulating the soil food web while also stabilizing it and further preventing erosion. So at this point, we're just going to start digging some more up the slope. My absolutely lovely partner in crime, McKenna, will be joining us today. So let's go ahead and get started. Come on.
Hey everyone, it is a beautiful Sunday morning and we have finished with all of the berms, as you can see. So there are going to be 10 in total, and they are going to first be sown with cover crops and then planted with nurse trees. A nurse tree refers to a tree that is used to establish any kind of tree plantation or food forest, and basically they serve the function of increasing soil fertility and working biomass into the system. I will put a full list of my species of interest in the description. To name a few major ones, I've been looking at doing some more moringa. I've been looking at Lucina leucocephala, Tipuana tipu, Albizia julibrissin, and Albizia lebec. And I will also be planting some pigeon pea, Caginus cagin there, which is not a tree, it is a shrub, but it is also an excellent nitrogen fixer and green manure producing plant. All of those will be planted in these berms during the spring. As for now, since it is winter and the weather is still a bit chilly, I will be planting some cover crops right now. So the plan is basically to work some compost into the soil that I will be harvesting from my garden. So the cover crop seeds, which will be treated with compost tea, and then mulch over with some leaves that I collected from around the area to help reduce erosion from the rain. We are expecting a rather large rain event in a couple days, so the mulch will definitely help the berms maintain their shape as the rain falls. All right, let's get to it. It's time to sift out some compost and then begin working it in, and then we will do the seeds and the mulch. Let's go. All right, so now it's time to get our cover crop seeds ready for the berms. We're gonna be sowing the seeds for the berms today, and this is gonna be a mixture of annual forbs, that is flowering plants, which includes our nitrogen fixers, and perennial grasses. The perennial grasses will provide long-term slope stabilization. So here are the seeds that I have right now. These are the perennial grasses. This is a mix of 3 California native perennial grasses. Here are our legumes. So this is 3 species right here. We have Arroyo lupine, hairy vetch, and crimson clover. And then this is our mix of native forbs. So this is actually 16 different species. No, 18 different species, which also includes Arroyo lupine, so really 17. But yeah, these are the species that we are going to be sowing up on the berms, and they will provide long-term stabilization of the berms. Their roots will sink down into the berms and hold the soil in place so that it does not erode when the rains come. All right, so let's talk microbes. Right here I have some compost tea. This was made with some Booze Blend biodynamic compost from Malibu Compost and some homemade worm castings. Here is some compost that I harvested from my pile. And here we have the inoculums for the legumes. One of these is going to be for our clovers, and the rest will hopefully cover the vetches and the lupines. So basically what we are going to do is we are going to add a little bit of the compost tea, but first I want to get the inoculum. So we only need a tiny amount, and basically you just want to get all the microbes to stick to the seeds as best you can so that the seeds have the beneficial biology as they're germinating attached to them already, so that the beneficial biology can rapidly colonize their root systems and begin fixing nitrogen and providing the various other benefits that this biology provides. Soil building. So do a little bit of that one. And so this is going to be for the legumes. Let's give that a good mix. Give it a good mix. And then I'm going to do a little bit of the... you just want to moisten them slightly with the compost tea, which is very, very, very rich in microbes. So we are essentially introducing all of our soil biology here. And these guys are a bit too wet. You see how they're starting to clump together? And we can correct that by adding some compost. And the compost will absorb some of the excess water. And also introduce more biology, including the eggs and I guess bodies, you can say, of beneficial microarthropods, so like insects and stuff. So I'm just going to mix that around. Yeah, it's still a bit too moist, so we'll have to add a little bit more. I might need to transfer this to a mason jar, but it'll work out. So yeah, we're going to leave that for now. And sort of with the native forbs, a bit of the same thing. We're going to add a very small amount of the tea and then mix it around, because we don't want them to stick together like that. So, and we add the compost. And this will prepare our seeds. Okay. So we want to be able to spread them out well. So these are still too moist. I'm going to get these to the right consistency, and then we're going to go sow them up on the hillside. So join me in a moment.
The next day.
Hey everyone, welcome back. It is a new day. We are going to do the second round of cover crop seeding now. These cover crops are going to be sown inside of the boomerang berms. So here are our seeds. Pretty much the same mixture except with a few modifications. These are legumes. This time it is just hairy vetch and crimson clover. I ran out of the Arroyo lupine seeds, unfortunately. So that's pretty sad. I wish I had more of those, but it's okay. It'll still work out. And here is everything else. This time we are doing winter wheat instead of the California native perennial grasses, because I want to be able to terminate these really easily, and also oilseed radish. And oilseed will help break up the heavy clay soil that is underneath on the bottom of the berms. Oilseed radish is fantastic for that since it sends down a large, thick taproot. And then once you terminate that, the root will just compost in place and that builds soil. Yeah, other than that, we have also included some California native wildflowers in this mix too, to increase the biodiversity. Let's get these seeds prepped and get sowing. Okay everyone, here are the completed berms. They have been sown with cover crops both on the outside and the inside, and mulched. We are expecting over 2 inches of rain tonight, so if all goes well, these berms will fill up with water and then the water will slowly infiltrate into the soil, providing long-term moisture for the cover crops that we just sowed inside and outside of the berms.